Hello, I'm back. Same spot I was before in the last story. Okay, so I wanted to read you a story that actually goes with St. Patrick's Day, which was back in March, but we missed school that day because we were all sent home. But it's a cute, clever story that we can enjoy even if it's not St. Patrick's Day. It's called Clever Tom and the Leprechaun. Is really doing a lot there. Clever Tom and the Leprechaun, an old Irish story, retold and illustrated by Linda Shute. Clever Tom and the Leprechaun. One fine day, on Lady Day in the harvest, Tom Fitzpatrick took a ramble down the lane. Click, clack, click, clack, he heard through the hedge. So Tom tiptoed closer to take a look. Oh, it's him tiptoeing. He hears a sound. Click, clack, click, clack. I wonder what is making that sound. See his shadow? Oh, that's cool. Good illustrating. The clacking sound stopped when Tom peeped through the bushes. And in the shadow, what did he see? Why, a big gallon pitcher and a teeny tiny man with a brown leather apron and a three-cornered hat. Oh, is that him? Three-cornered hat, brown apron, little tiny man. That's him. And Tom's face. Up the small man climbed on his wee wooden stool and dipped his little piggin into the crock. Then he settled down with his full mug beside him to hammer on the heel of a fairy-sized shoe. By the powers, thought Tom, it's a leprechaun. If I catch him and scare him, he'll give me his gold. Since I'm a clever fellow, that should be simple. Before the sun sets, I'll have my fortune made. Oh, you could see him on his little tiny stool there, dipping in for a drink. He dipped his little piggin. I guess that cup is called a piggin. That's funny. Okay. Tom stared at the leprechaun and tried not to blink. He knew that if he looked away, the old man would escape. Then he crept up quite near and tipped his hat politely, saying, "Good day to you, neighbor. Blessings on your work." "Thank you kindly," said the small one. But he never looked up. He just kept on tapping at the heel piece of the brogue. Well, the brogue must be the shoe. He's not looking at Tom. But Tom's not blinking. The bird is watching. Look at Tom's face. Tom moved his hand closer while he smiled very sweetly and said, "Today's a holiday. You shouldn't have to work." And the leprechaun frowned and answered Tom sharply, "If I do, that's my business and none of your own. Instead of pestering me, young man, you ought to be watching your father's fields. Look there. The cows have broke into the oats. See, they're knocking the corn all about." Cows in the cornfield? Tom's head started turning. Oh boy. If he looks away, what did he say would happen? Look at his finger. He's trying to trick him. Look over there. But he wasn't fooled by the leprechaun's trick. Quickly he grabbed the sly fellow and cried, "Now you're my prisoner. Tell me, where's your gold?" The leprechaun wiggled and twisted and whined. "Ooh, I'm just a poor man." But Tom held him fast. "You and I both know you're lying," said Tom. And he made a fierce, frightening face. Finally, the leprechaun quit squirming and said, "Tom Fitzpatrick, you're too clever for me. I see you are after my buried treasure, so I'll have to show you where it is hid." Look at that face. With his eye on the bitty man locked in his fist, Tom followed where the leprechaun led him. He traipsed over a hill and under some hedges, and through a ditch and across the peat bog. At last, just when Tom feared he'd been hoodwinked, look at all those places. He found himself in a great field of weeds. "Dig there," said the leprechaun, pointing to a bush. "Deep under that bolion is where I put my gold." "Thunder Nation," said Tom, "I need to fetch my spade. But when I return, I'll be lost. There are 40 acres of bolions here, and each plant looks just like the other." That must be the name of those tall yellow weeds. Still watching the leprechaun, Tom figured out a plan. He tied his bright red garter on the bush. "Swear, you old rascal, that you won't take this off while I run back to get my spade." "That I will promise you," the little man said. Tommy grinned, knowing that leprechauns always keep their word. "Now, since I've shown you where my treasure is, I just don't suppose you'll need me anymore." "No," said Tom. "My fortune's made. You may go, and good luck go with you." "Then goodbye, Tom Fitzpatrick," said the leprechaun. "May you do much good with what you find." So you see this red piece here, this red cloth, like a ribbon here too. They would use those to keep their socks up. They didn't have a good elastic like we do now. So he took one off and he tied it to the bush, or to the bolion that the leprechaun told him to. Then he'll know when he comes back with his spade. Ah, there's his spade, which is a shovel. Away Tom ran as fast as he could run, figuring how he'd spend the gold. Then back he came with his shovel in his hand, back to the field of bolions. He's going, and he's coming back. You can see he only has one garter on now. So what's happening to his sock that doesn't have a garter? It's falling down. He doesn't care. Is it falling down there too? Yeah. But when he got there, oh dear, lo and behold, there was a garter just like his own, tied to each and every bush, as far as he could see. Oh, can you see? Every single one has a red garter tied to it. Oh, that leprechaun, he kept his word. He didn't take it off, but he added one to every other bolion. No! That's so clever. Tom dug under the bolion where he thought that he'd tied his garter, but nothing was buried under that bush, and so he dug under another. He dug to the east and he dug to the west, and still he found no treasure. The harvest moon rose as he dug to the north, and it set as he dug southward. Ah, see the moon setting, rising and setting. When the sun came up, Tom saw that he'd dug 100 holes, and tired Tom Fitzpatrick knew he couldn't find that gold, so he gave up and he headed home. From then on, Tom always carried his spade, and he never stopped listening for a tapping in the field. Every chance he got, he'd tell how he nearly found the gold. Yeah, there he is. And since I'm a clever fellow, Tom would end his tale, the next time I catch that leprechaun, I'll have my fortune made. See, who's listening and laughing? He's a little older too. Look at Tom. Yeah, he looks like an old man. I'd like to be one of those children sitting there listening. The end. What's the back look like though? It's just a wrap around. Ooh.